Okay, welcome to the first sigil stream. I'm tuning into the current, letting the symbols land as they want, and just talking through what shows up. All right, I'm back. I've had time to sit with the sigil and to let it talk to me, to let it show me what it's actually doing. And before we walk through the anatomy, I want to be clear about who the sigil is for. This is for a collective who already knows that something's off. You've had a gut feeling about something for a while. You've picked up clues, maybe little inconsistencies or emotional patterns that don't sit right. And you're at a point where you can't pretend anymore you don't feel it. You're not confused. You're not lost. You're not looking for predictions. You're looking for confirmation. You want something that matches the shape of what you've been sensing. And if you've been questioning whether you're overreacting or imagining things, I can tell you you're not. The sigil shows me you're in the middle of a very real, deep internal process. And once you see how this engine works, the whole descent stops feeling like really chaotic. It'll start making a bit more sense here. So let's start with the overall form. The whole sigil looks like a living crescent. It's like part serpent, part antenna, part seed pod creature. It's a transmitting limb. It's a perceptive organ. And honestly, it behaves like a biological engine. It's a living mechanism that shows how inner truth forms. And this one is specifically about descent, going into the subconscious, the underlayers, the deep interior. They gave me a name for it when I was sitting with it at first. And the name for it is the descent engine. So let's walk the structure here. I want to start with the spiral. Spirals pull inward. They're entry points, contraction points. This is where you drop into the part of you that holds like the real data here. It's not the surface story. It's like the truth layer underneath it all. The spiral reads like an initiation point, that quiet first click where you notice something, like a gut sense or a suspicion. Intuitive pings, it could be also dreams. The subconscious loves to speak through dreams. Or a pattern you're suddenly not able to unsee anymore. The spiral marks the beginning of clarity, and it's subtle at first, but once you're in, you're in. Oh, interesting. Okay, got it. Yeah, conscious activation point. Yeah, this is the activation point of the sigil. They're showing me the thumb pressing on it like a button to start the descent engine. Okay, so let's move here to the left bulging arc, the top arc, right? This big snake-like arc is the backbone of the entire sigil. Once you step into the spiral, this is the path you start moving through internally. It curves left and it bulges outward, and that bulge is pressure. The rising curve is like clarity forming here. Something in you is building. You can feel it trying to surface. It's harder to ignore, and it's going to be even more harder to ignore as this process continues. This also shows me that you're mid-process here. You're not at a resolution yet, but you're getting closer. And now let's look at the pods. There are 6 pods on this arc, including the spiral and the black pod at the I almost said the basis, at the top. 6 is materialization. It's integration energy, bringing something invisible into form. So the spiral pod here is the trigger, right? The first recognition, the start button, as we'll call it. The 4 hanging pods are like developing seeds. They aren't empty vessels. They're actually forming points. Each one kind of gathers weight here. They're the internal passes you go through. So things like noticing, doubting, circling back, refining, feeling something again, but this time stronger. These are the checkpoints where the truth ripens. And then the black pod at the top. This is the heaviest point in the whole sigil. I'm hearing output node. This is the output node. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. It looks like the others, but it's field, dense, and radiating. This is where everything condenses to. This is like the moment the truth becomes solid enough to name it. Once something hits this stage, it's undeniable. This is the point where you stop pretending you don't know. It's like full illumination and consciousness here. It is now out of the subconscious processing and forefront in your awareness. It's the process of transformation itself to the illumination moment, the aha, the light bulb. And it kind of looks like a light bulb. And then we'll drop down here into this inner arc. The sun sits underneath all of that, right? The inner arc is your deep somatic subconscious. It's the part of you that feels truth before you can really even recognize it or name it or articulate it. And this is the layer that holds the emotional and body level knowing that starts long before your mind catches up. If the outer arc is the subconscious rising to recognition, then the inner arc would be the subconscious before it rises, the instinctual layer. You feel this through things like your gut sensations or like subtle uneasiness. This arc isn't building realization, it's actually holding the root of them. And then down here we have the basin with 3 little tendrils coming out here. This is where all that deep knowing collects. It almost looks like a person, right, with a womb and then 3 little arm extensions coming off of the womb. And it serves a lot of the same purpose as the womb. Nothing here is fully formed yet, but everything here is very real. This is the emotional gravity point. Your body registers the truth before your mind can process it, before it goes through this process of elimination and realization. And from this basin, we have those 3 tendrils. These are your instinctual feelers. They're the way your deeper self reaches out. It senses, it probes, it checks reality from multiple angles. And 3 matters here. This is actually really important because it creates a stable triangulation here. You're gathering intuitive data from several directions before anything takes shape, really. They're not forming the realization, so to say. They're feeding the system until there's actually enough internal evidence in here for a pattern to form, and it processes in the upper threshold of the subconscious. And then we have the empty bulb here at the tip. Notice how this bulb almost touches the darker bulb up here, this point of illumination, aha, consciousness. It's almost like your deep spidey senses in the subconscious, the instinctual somatic layer, is already kind of fueling the consciousness. It's like, oh, I see, I don't quite maybe know what it is exactly, but I can see there's something here. I can feel it as this uneasiness or this gut sensation or this intuitive pressure coming through. And then it kicks off into here to start processing that so it becomes fully conscious and fully illuminated. So this bulb here that's empty or looks empty, it's the split second where your deep instinct kind of flickers upward. It becomes a recognizable signal for you. It's the spark before that whole process. It's your deeper self that's saying like, hey, pay attention. We've got something coming to surface. So let's look at this whole process overall really quick. We'll review this once more so you can kind of see it from start to finish, because it appears at first that it starts here in the spiral, the initiation. You accept the call to go deeper into the inner and under layers of your subconscious, of yourself. You accept the call to draw inward. But this all starts very deeply, way beneath the surface, beneath your conscious recognition of anything. You feel something in your gut. You notice it. You start processing it. As soon as you notice it, you say, okay, let's dig deeper on this. What is this? And you start processing it. And then you form a conclusion. And the radiating lines around this conclusion tell me that you actually reach a state of clarity. So, what is this telling me overall? This is telling me that you're dropping into a part of yourself that's been tracking this unnamed sense of something coming or something brewing or something being off for a while. Something's been moving under the surface for this collective in particular. First in the body, then the emotions, and now the mind is looping around a single point. The signal is getting louder. Whatever you've been sensing is about to land in a very real and very undeniable way. You are heading straight into the moment where you finally call it what it is. And I want to be clear here, this is not an event we're looking at. It's like not a prediction. It's not like a relationship outside or a process outside of yourself. This is a recognition that there's something here you already know. And it's a truth that makes you change something. It will provoke action for you. It will impact your choices, your behaviors, your boundaries, something from your deeper past or shadow that's been triggered, resurfaced, and it's now actually forming into conscious clarity. You haven't been able to, or perhaps not wanting to, name this truth yet. But this is telling me that the naming is inevitable. The process is underway already. It's happening. You're like somewhere here in this process right now. You've already initiated or you're about to. And you're in this upper process. If you're interested in sigil work, you can actually use this sigil to help this truth you've been circling finally take shape. The sigil will help activate and accelerate the exact internal sequence that will help you move from instinct to like recognition, from like a place of I feel it to I actually understand it. This sigil is meant for helping subconscious material rise. And if you struggle with like self-doubt or minimizing your intuition, maybe rationalizing red flags or overthinking, you will benefit from working with this as well. All right, well, that's what I've got for you today. If you're still here, then this sigil is absolutely speaking to you, because none of this lands unless you're already deep in this process. So take this as your confirmation. No, you are not imagining it. You are not overreacting. You're in the descent, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Let the thing finish forming. You don't have to force the clarity here. It's already on its way up. Just stay with yourself while it rises. And if you want to work with the sigil more directly, I'll put the Etsy link to the digital art in the description so you can grab it. And I recommend you just sit with it, meditate with it, activate it by putting your thumb on the little spiral, and use it in your practice, whatever helps you stay connected to your own knowing. And when the truth clicks, trust it. I'll see you on the next sigil stream. Thanks for watching.